I'm having a wonderful day. I hope you are too. Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I told you I'll be back. And guess what? I'm back. We're gonna get right into today's discussions. And this is about the game updates, the balance patch for May 11th, 2021. Also, this is my first time reading it. I haven't I haven't read it beforehand. So this is going to be a cold read. This is going to be a first impressions live, and we'll see how I feel. So this might be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm going to talk about it and just give my reaction. Okay, so let's get into it. We have the main chunky food. We need to be fed, and they're going to feed us. Okay, so it's game update notes for May 11th, 2021, 5/11/2021, skills and balance release notes. The introduction and the general synopsis reads, "It's been a long while since our last major balance patch. In this update, we're preparing for Cantha by cleaning up long-standing frustrations with boons and conditions, as well as by positioning existing builds as new potential sources of alacrity and quickness and group play. Among these changes are new duration caps for each boon and condition." Oh great, a rework of the retaliation and resistance boons, and reversal to the bonus damage state of the torment condition. Torment will now deal bonus damage to targets that are standing still instead of moving targets. Interesting. Very nice in PvE. This change will enhance the Torment's performance in most boss encounters and create better opportunities for synergy and counterplay in PvP. So if you can immobilize someone, that'd be really cool. The retaliation boon has long been a pain point, both in PvE and PvP. It's not particularly impactful to use, and it's never fun to play against. We have replaced it with a new boon, Resolution, which complements the existing protection boon by reducing incoming damage from conditions: bleeding, poison, burning, torment, and confusion. Interesting. I like it. Now, if it's stacked, that'd be really cool. By 33%. Okay, it's 33%. I honestly wish more boons stacked. So instead of that 33%, the boon type would cap at 3 stacks, and each stack would provide 11% reduction. I like those, but it doesn't matter. We'll have to see. Many current traits and skills use retaliation in some way, or to added effect. Those traits aren't going away. Generally, they've been updated to use the new resolution boon. As always, the detailed patch notes below will tell you exactly what's happening for each profession. Great. Similarly, we're not quite happy with how resistance is a hard shutdown on all conditions, which creates overlapping gameplay with skills that cleanse conditions. We're updating resistance to only affect non-damaging conditions. In other words, resolution helps reduce damage from bleeding, poison, burning, torment, and confusion, while resistance lets you temporarily ignore blind, chill, cripple, fear, immob, slow, taunt, vulnerability, and weakness. I like to see it. That's actually really cool. Since we're reducing the overall effect of resistance, we're also reevaluating and increasing durations in some skills where it is applied. I like it. That's really cool. Duration caps for boons and conditions. I like to see it. Duration stacking boons and conditions now behave consistently. They directly stack durations added from all sources, do not have hidden stack limits, and generally have shorter maximum durations, with most non-damaging conditions durations stacking to a maximum of 10 seconds. We aim to reduce situations in which players can become stuck in combat because of a long duration condition, preventing them from using their mount. I like that a lot, actually. I really do. And even in PvP, like getting mobbed for 15 seconds and you just happen to not have a condi clear for that. So it seems alacrity, fury, protection, resolution, quickness, resistance, swiftness, and vigor all last 30 seconds, with all the other conditions that are non-damaging lasting 10. So, mantras. Oh, okay. So we have a general sense of mantras. We acknowledge that there are significant flaws with the core gameplay innate to mantra skills. and that this problem was exacerbated in Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire, when we switched Mesmer mantras to an ammunition system, creating an incentive to not use the final charge. This is a poor user experience and something we have hoped for a long time to be able to come back and address. Needing to prepare for combat by using a sequence of skills with a long casting time is not fun, and in most cases, using the final charge of a mantra in combat felt like a mistake. It really did. It not only denied your user of this skill for a long time, but it also required you to repair your mantras again after the cooldown expired. Instead of being rewarding to use, mantras have been a chore, something you need to remember to do every time you change maps or respawn, or deal with after every GG in a fractal, strike, or raid. Holding your group up while you again prepare each of your mantras never feels great either. I agree. Ultimately, we found the best course of action was to simplify the mantra skills and remove the preparation mechanic altogether, as this ensures that we can have consistent behavior between Mesmer and Firebrand mantras, as well as consistent core functionality between PvE and PvP game modes. I wonder if an elite spec is going to get mantras. I mean, I don't think mantras were that high on the list, so maybe an elite spec will be getting mantras as well. As a result, in this balance update, we have decided to rework both Mesmer and Firebrand mantras into simple ammunition skills. What this means is no more preparing mantras before use. They are always in the ready mode, storing up uses. Firebrand mantras are no longer stronger on final charge. All uses are the same. Okay, interesting. Mesmer mantras no longer do something on preparing. Kind of will miss that for Mesmers. I think it gave them a really interesting niche and a little extra oomph in some situations. Some related tuning and trait changes will happen as a result. While this results in a loss of some of the current flavor inherent to the mantra skill type, we have found that the ability to easily read, understand, and use these skills in normal gameplay is a strong improvement to the play experience. I mean, they could probably do some interesting things with mantras via traits, or runes, or something like that, or sigils. I think that would be really cool, but I think overall this will probably be a better change. And then we have general. To better indicate which skills will deal defiance damage, icons within skill tooltips that represent applied control effects are now purple. Nice. The exposed effect that is placed on many boss enemies when their defiance bar is broken has been adjusted. It now increases power damage taken by 30% and condition damage taken by 100%. Now we get into the fun stuff. I don't know if we're getting a whole lot. I think it's more so the boons and conditions was like the major thing, but let's see. Elementalist. We feel that the Elementalist has been in a very good place since the July 2020 balance update. Both Tempests and Weavers have effective high damage power and condition damage builds available, while the Tempest is also powerful in a support role. We weren't completely happy that the top end power and condition damage Elementalist builds have had approximately the same sustained damage, so we're making some minor targeted reductions to the power builds, probably just a punctuation error, to the power builds, and increases to condition damage sources to help condition damage builds really shine on bosses and other hard targets, and to ensure that they aren't left behind by the effect that the torment condition change has for other professions. Scepter, Flame Strike. Total casting time has been reduced by 25 seconds, or 25%, not 25 seconds, wow. 25%. Warhorn, Wildfire, spreading duration is now 3 seconds. Lightning Orb, reduce the power coefficient, and they just reduced it a little bit. Weaver, Elements of Rage, strike damage bonus reduced from 10 to 5%, increases condition damage by 5%. So just a little bit more love for Elementalists that want to go a more condition route. Engineer, now you guys know that I'm not an engineer player, but I'll read them, and I'm not going to give too much feedback. While the Scrapper can be played as an effective healer, it hasn't had access to the offensive boons it needs to be truly valuable as a support role in group PvE content. As a result, we've seen the Scrapper get very little play outside of World vs. World. With this update, we're reworking the Scrapper trait kinetic stabilizers so that Scrappers can apply the quickness boon on up to 5 targets, opening up a powerful boon support role for the specialization. We're also taking some potential damage out of the Hollow Smith's heat management in Laser's Edge, and we're instead adding more power to the core explosive trait, Glass Cannon, making that damage accessible to more builds. Utility Goggles resistance was increased by a second. Rifle overcharge shot no longer knocks the engineer back. That could be cool. Glass Cannon, increased strike damage bonus from 7% to 10%. Scrapper, Kinetic Stabilizers has been reworked and renamed. It is now known as Kinetic Accelerators. When you grant super speed to a target, also grant quickness. That'll be really nice. Maybe Scrappers can get a little bit more boon support style. I've always thought of the Scrapper as a little bit more of a tank, but I don't know if we have many encounters that... I mean, maybe you could do like Scrapper tanks now with boon support. Next up, we have my main, the Guardian. Okay, this will be very, very interesting. Guardian has always been a very flexible and powerful profession. While we are happy with the current build diversity available to Guardians, and we are working to extend that same diversity to other professions, we've observed that all Guardian damage builds, both condition and power, utilize the same combination of the Zeal and Radiance specializations, as they have optimal trait choices for each. We're making a few changes to Zeal, Virtues, and underperforming concentration utility skills to better differentiate the two specializations and allow Virtues to be a viable option for condition damage builds. Oh no. Not condition damage builds. Not more burning. I mean, guys, I'm a Guardian main through and through, but like, their burning feels to be so rough at times. Okay, so Scepter. Symbol of Punishment. Increase the cooldown from 6 to 10 seconds in PvE. And from 8 to 10 seconds in World vs. World. That's cool. Chains of Light. This skill now requires a target to activate, maybe making it a little bit more trustworthy. Staff, Symbol of Swiftness. Decreased cooldown from 15 seconds to 12 seconds in PvE only. Just a little bit extra damage probably on the staff. I mean, the Swiftness boon is cool, but probably just for extra damage. Greatsword, Symbol of Wrath. This skill has now been renamed to Symbol of Resolution. Symbol of Resolution reduced the cooldown from 20 seconds to 12 seconds. Damage per strike reduced by 10%. Consecrations. Oh, maybe they didn't say concentrations, consecrations. Here we go, consecrations. Wall of Reflection. Reduce the base duration from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, but reduce the cooldown from 30 seconds to 25 seconds. That's cool. I honestly think that Wall of Reflection should be baked into Line of Warding. Like, Line of Warding gets taken away from Staff 5 and just gets, bubbled in to Wall of Reflection. I still don't know how viable Wall of Reflection is, probably more so in World vs. World, but I think having that added functionality would be interesting. It would probably need a longer cooldown, though, in World vs. World if that was the case. Purging Flames. Reduce the radius from 240 to 180. Yes, this is what I want to see. I have genuinely felt that over the years, they have been buffing skills by just increasing their size. And it has become a little bit difficult to actually manage the battlefield at times and actually play the game. So I want to see more of this in other areas as well. Perching Flames, reduced from 240 to 180. This skill no longer burns foes that cross the outside of the field. Instead, it now applies 1 stack of burning with a 4-second duration on foes inside the radius, when cast, and again on each pulse for the duration of the effect. Cooldown has been reduced from 35 seconds to 25 seconds in PvE only. Good thing for PvE. If that was PvP, that'd be awful. Sanctuary, reduce the cooldown from 60 to 50 seconds. Yeah, I think Sanctuary is the one skill that I think could be an elite skill, an elite consecration on 60 seconds. And that is the one skill that I think they could probably increase the size from like 180 to like 210, just a little bit more. But I think the reduced cooldown will be nice for some builds that want to kind of play with a safety bubble. It'd be interesting if Sanctuary actually also gave you resolution. So you're not like dying from conditions while in the bubble. But perhaps. Shouts, save yourself. Increase the duration of resistance from 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds. Nice. Radiance, Healer's Retribution has now been renamed to Healer's Resolution. Now applies resolution. Virtues. Inspired Virtue, the trait now additionally increases strike damage for each boon on the Guardian. This effect was formerly on Power of the Virtuous. Absolute Resolution. This trait has been renamed to Absolute Resolve. Okay. Oh, because Resolution, yeah, name changes. Power of the Virtuous has now been reworked. Guardians now gain condition damage based on Vitality, 10%. Virtues gain reduced recharge, 15%. Interesting. Well, that'll be interesting. Zeal, Zealot's Speed. This trait has been renamed to Zealot's Resolution. Lesser symbol of wrath, lesser symbol of resolution. Symbolic power. Symbol's strikes no longer change the virtue skill 1 passive effect more quickly. Oh, no longer charge it. Okay. I like that. I think that would be cool. Eternal Armory. Spirit weapons now only apply burning on their first strike per cast. Increase the burning duration from 4 to 8 seconds in PvE, 2.5 seconds to 5 seconds in World vs. World, and 2 to 4 seconds in PvP. I like it. This is a reduction to total burning from Sword of Justice, and an increase in total burning to Hammer of Wisdom and the Shield of the Avenger when used with this trait. Okay, I like it. They're kind of like spreading it out a little bit more. Firebrand, Stoic Demeanor. Fixed a bug that caused a 3-second interval. Mantras no longer need to be charged. They regenerate ammunition normally. Hunter, Defender's Dogma. This trait now uses the correct icon. It wasn't using the correct icon? Interesting. Reduce the interval cooldown to 1 second in PvE only. Matches PvP in World vs. World. Pure of Sight. This trait now uses the correct icon. The description has been clarified to communicate that the strike damage dealt increases with distance from the struck enemy. Okay. Longbow. Puncture Shot. Remove the bouncing aspect of this skill. Oh, I kind of like that. This skill now pierces enemies and inflicts the cripple condition on all enemies if it hits more than 1, with a cap of 5. Okay. I guess that's honestly probably a power, it's a buff to Puncture Shot, but I liked the flavor that it only changed to 1 other, similar to the Toxin ability on Revenant Mace, the 3rd hit, and then it'll chain a little poison thing. Symbol of Energy. Cooldown has been reduced from 15 to 12 seconds. Cast time has been reduced by 0.3 seconds. Hunter's Ward. The skill's cast has been reworked. The Dragon Hunter will now channel the skill for 1 second and then release the barrage, allowing movement while the attacks occur and traps are formed. Interesting. I wonder how that'll feel. It locks you in place a little bit more. So a little bit of a delayed reaction. That will be very interesting. We're probably gonna have to learn how to play around Hunter's Ward a little bit more now that it's seems to be a bit of delayed. And you can probably like look for the animation like firing and then try to predict where it will be. Mesmer Protomancer has been steeply overperforming in a damage roll in all content, leading to an environment in which the best way to tackle almost any challenges is to throw more Chronomancers at it. Kind of true. On the other hand, especially in PvP, Mirage hasn't been performing at the level we'd like it to. It's been relegated to a damage roll in only a few specific boss encounters, in which Confusion is particularly potent. With this update, Mirage will see general improved performance from the change to the Torment condition. Yes, it will. With the option of using a reworked Chaos specialization that will now better synergize for condition damage and support builds. I like it. We're also creating a new possible boon support role for Mirages, using the staff by changing Chaos Vortex, the staff's ambush skill, to grant might and alacrity to up to 10 allied targets. Huh. I mean, it already granted might, I'm pretty sure, but alacrity will be very interesting. Okay. Deception, the down skill 2. The skill is now ground targeted. Yes. Oh my god, that's so good. Yes. I like that. I like that a lot. Arcane Thievery. The skill now requires a target to activate. Time Warp. Reduce the cooldown from 180 to 120. Reduce the duration from 10 to 5 seconds. This skill now applies 1 second of quickness and slow per pulse, for a total of 6 pulses over a 5-second duration. Mantra change. Sword. Illusionary Riposte. The skill no longer displaces the player when summoning a clone. Interesting. Illusionary Counter. Oh, is this the offhand sword? Might be. Illusionary Counter. The skill no longer displaces the player when creating a clone. I like the displacement, but maybe we'll see more of that in an elite spec. Okay, Winds of Chaos. Increase projectile speed by 25%. Yes, I like it. Increased casting speed by 0.1 second, and it lowered the aftercast animation lock by 0.2 seconds. Fixed an inconsistency with projectile behavior. The skill now applies Torment for 5 seconds to the first target struck, and Confusion for 5 seconds on subsequent hits to enemies. Allies hit gain Might for 5 and Fury for 3 seconds. I like it. Winds of Chaos will probably be... the staff could be a little bit of a stronger support. Chaos Armor, reduced recharge to 25 seconds. This skill no longer applies a random condition to nearby foes when cast. Instead, it now applies blindness and confusion to nearby foes when cast. Okay. A little bit more consistent, but I like the randomness kind of, but randomness is always a bit tricky. Flavor-wise, it's really cool, but efficacy-wise, a little weird. And then Chaos Storm, reduced recharge to 25 seconds in PvE only. Chaos Vortex, the Staff Ambush. The projectile only strikes enemies. Up to 10 nearby allies gain boons. The boons gained are now Might, 8 stacks, and Alacrity. Boons are applied near the Mesmer only, not near clones. It'd be interesting if they did do it near clones, but oh well. Protomancer, Danger Time, remove the critical damage bonus. They're probably like really pulling things back a bit. Chrono Phantasma. Resummon Phantasma damage is now 75% in PvE only. Okay. Seize the Moment. Quickness duration per clone shattered has been reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1 second in PvE only. Okay, yeah, they're kind of probably bringing Chronomancer down just a little bit. And then Chaos. I'm interested. Illusionary Membrane. This trait has been reworked. While regenerating, condition damage dealt is increased, and condition damage taken is reduced by 10%. Okay. Chaotic Persistence. This trait has been reworked. Gain concentration and expertise while regenerating. Okay, so it's going to be like apply regeneration to yourself and you gain bonuses. Chaotic Dampening. This trait has now been reworked and renamed Chaotic Potency. Chaotic Potency. Gain condition damage. Gain additional condition damage while wielding a staff. Recharge of staff skills is reduced. Okay, so it's like the staff. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Chaotic Transference. This trait has been reworked. Chaos Armor now grants 3 seconds of protection. Gain regeneration for 5 seconds with a 15-second cooldown when gaining protection. Okay. Rework, or is this like an addition? I don't know, this might be just like an addition. Inspiration. Restorative Mantras. Heal allies around you when activating a mantra. Reduces healing amount by 50%. Okay, because it's probably going to be a bit more of like on cast, I could actually see myself taking Restorative Mantras on my support healing Mesmer build, because now you don't actually have to charge it. You just have to use them. I like it. I like it a lot. That'd be really cool. Okay, Necromancer. Here we are. Let's see what they do with Necro. Necromancer is a flexible and durable profession. It's not currently in need of any major changes, but alongside general improvements to the performance of other condition damage specializations, we're improving the Necromancer's access to condition damage and curses with improved condition application. We're also making improvements in soul reaping with soul barbs to increase condition damage, and we're making small improvements to the usability of several traits in the blood magic specialization. Okay. Axe, Ghastly Claws. This skill now requires a target to activate. Okay. Interesting. Lich Form, Deathly Claws. Oh, they're not changing Lich Form? Wait, what do you mean? In PvP, Lich Form, I still think Lich Form is overperforming. Deathly Claws. This skill no longer fires projectiles at enemies located behind the player. Okay. Interesting. Curses, Barbed Precision. Increased duration of bleeding inflicted from 2 to 3 seconds in PvE. Insidious Disruption, increased torment from 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, like it. Mark of Evasion, this trait no longer has an internal cooldown. Oh, interesting. Blood Bond, reduced internal cooldown from 20 seconds to 16 seconds. I like it. I do. Blood Bank, in addition to its previous effects, this trait now grants barrier for health gained while below full health at a 15% rate. What? What? In addition to its previous effect, this trait now grants barrier for health. Oh, grants barrier for health gained while below full health at a 15% rate. So as you're taking damage, you also are going to get barrier on top of that. So you no longer have to be at maximum health. That seems pretty powerful. Yikes. Ranger. The Ranger is a potent damage dealer. We've seen that Soul Beast has extreme burst damage potential, and unfortunately in this case, this has helped create some very homogeneous compositions. In this patch, we're weakening Sikkim when used by a Soul Beast by lowering the damage bonus to 25%, matching the current balancing for this skill in PvP and World vs. World. We're also increasing the cooldown of one Wolf Pack. However, while we do want to slightly lower the extreme burst damage moments from Soul Beast, we don't want to significantly lower its overall damage per second on longer encounters. Okay. Gaining bonus damage to Ferocious Strength, preventing all overall increases to sustained damage per second. Sick'em. When used by a merged Soul Beast, this damage bonus granted is now 25%. The damage bonus granted to the pet is 40%. Okay. Soul Beast, One Wolf Pack. 80 seconds in PvE only. Furious Strength. Bonus damage has gone from 7% to 10%. Like it. Warhorn. Call of the Wild. Reduced animation after cast time by approximately 0.5 seconds. The pet's next few attacks are no longer unblockable. This skill now dazes and weakens nearby enemies when cast. Daze duration is 2 seconds in PvE in War vs. World and 1 second in PvP. Interesting. That'd be very, very strong, actually. Okay, now we get to the Revenant, and I can imagine there's going to be some interesting Revenant changes, I hope. Renegade condition damage builds will be positively impacted by the general change to Torment in this patch. While they'll be finding that they maintain and even improve their already strong performance, we are preemptively making slight decreases to the duration of applied Torment from several skills, as Condition Renegade builds were already one of the most potent condition damage builds. We'd like to improve other possible variations to the current favorite Invocation build, and as such, we're allowing specific traits in both Retribution and Devastation to increase all damage dealt instead of strike damage only. Alongside these changes, we're updating the Retribution specialization to match the removal of Retaliation. Okay, good to see, because the Resolution boon. We're improving the strike damage of the Renegade's Kala's Fervor effect by changing it from a ferocity bonus to a bonus to all damage dealt. This change will allow Renegade power builds to be more viable for general play in open world and mission contexts, although it is unlikely to create a Renegade power build for high-end PvE content. Okay, interesting. Soulcleave Summit was a skill we had been watching. Its ability to grant uncapped healing per second, limited only by how many times someone can hit, while under its effect resulted in unintuitive gameplay. When Soulcleaver's Summit was active, players were incentivized to use the skills that could hit the highest numbers, that could hit the highest number of times. This unpredictable rate of healing is not something that can be balanced. As a result, it created situations where it would allow groups to ignore intended fight mechanics. We're now limiting Soulcleave Summit to trigger once per second per player, similar to Razor Claw's Rage. We'll still keep an eye on the skill. Now that it's rate limited, we can safely improve it in future patches if needed. So let's see what's happening with Retribution. Spiritual Reckoning. This trait has been renamed Spiritual Resolution. Increase the duration of granted boons from 3 seconds to 6 seconds in PvE only. Determined Resolution. A damage reduction is now gained, while the Revenant has Resolution rather than Vigor. Okay. Retaliatory Evasion has been renamed to Resolute Evasion. Vicious Reprisal. This trait now increases all damage dealt rather than strike damage only. Okay. Invocation, Ferocious Aggression. This trait now also increases damage dealt from life stealing. Corruption, Fiendish Tenacity. Increase the resistance duration from 3 seconds to 5 seconds in PvE only. Devastation, Destructive Impulses. All damage rather than just strike damage. Renegade, Soulcleaver Summit. Life stealing can now trigger a maximum of once per second for each affected target. Kala's Fervor has now been all damage instead of just ferocity. Mace, Echoing Eruption, reduced torment duration from 8 to 7 seconds in PvE. Temporal Rift, reduced torment from 12 to 10 seconds in PvE only. And then a Legendary Demon Stance, Embrace the Darkness, has reduced torment from 6 to 5.5. And then Pain Absorption has an increased resistance from 2 to 3 seconds. Nice. We're getting to Thief and the Warrior, and the Thief has had some of the least build diversity in PvE gameplay for a while now, and it's overdue for some improvement. While we're happy with the power damage roles currently available for Thief players, we'd like to bring back Thief condition builds as another option. In this update, we're improving the condition applied by daggers and short bows, and we're adding some more condition-related power to the trickery specialization by giving it a source of expertise and a multiplier to bleed damage. Notably, we're also reducing the maximum targets of the stolen skill Detonate Plasma, which affects Thief boon build compositions in a few specific raid encounters. Dagger Wild Strike. This skill now also inflicts 2 stacks of bleeding for 3 seconds in PvE, and 1 stack in PvP in War vs. World. Nice. Shortbow, Trick Shot. Reduced animation length by 0.2 seconds. The skill no longer deals increased damage to poisoned enemies. Instead, it applies 1 stack of bleeding for 4 seconds when striking poisoned enemies. Okay, a little bit more condition love for a short bow. I like to see it. Surprise shot and malicious surprise shot. These skills now additionally apply 3 stacks of bleeding for 5 seconds in PvE and 1 stack in PvP in World vs. World. Choking gas. Increased poison duration from 2 to 3 seconds. This now matches the duration in structured PvP. Deadly Arts, Improvisation. The cooldown of this trait has been reduced from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. Trickery, Preparedness. This trait now increases Expertise, 150. Bewildering Ambush. This has been reworked and renamed to Deadly Ambush. Deadly Ambush. Stealing also applies 3 stacks of bleeding for 10 seconds in PvE, 3 stacks for 6 seconds in PvP and World vs. World. Bleeding inflicted on foes deals 25% more damage. Deadeye. Binding Shadow. This skill now reveals the caster if they are using stealth when the skill begins, reducing the aftercast animation from 0.25 to 0.08. That's actually quite a lot of animation reduction. Warrior. Berserker has been in a great place with strong support, power, and condition builds that are successful in all content. However, Spellbreaker lacks the damage it needs to keep up, and in line between banner, support, and damage-oriented builds is very blurry, and the line. Showing that possible alternatives to the discipline specialization were underperforming. With this update, we're making improvements to the tactics to make it a more viable alternative to discipline, and we're improving Spellbreaker's damage capabilities. We're also lowering the base target cap of banners to 5 players, with this choice for support builds to utilize the double standards trait to raise the target cap to 10. All banners are now gaining light combo fields, giving all warrior specializations some access to condition cleanse combos. Okay. I feel like that would be a lot of visual bloat. A lot of rings and bloating, maybe. Rifle is also receiving an improvement pass, improving its ability to combat multiple targets and giving it more utility as a ranged power weapon in general mission and open world play. Okay, Rifle. Fear Shot. This skill pierces but no longer grants bonus adrenaline against vulnerable targets. Instead, it grants 1 stack of might for 5 seconds. Crack Shot. Instead of granting bonus adrenaline when Fear Shot hits, Crack Shot, Fear Shot. This trait now causes Fear Shot to deal 10% bonus damage. Oh, I see. Aim Shot. This skill has been removed. Is it being replaced? Volley. This skill has moved to slot 2 of the weapon. Okay. Explosive Shell. This probably is replacing Aim Shot. This skill now takes the slot 3 on Rifle, previously occupied by Volley. This attack shoots a large shell at the target that explodes on contact with any enemy. The explosion creates a cone-shaped blast that fires through the target, striking foes behind them, and inflicting the crippled condition and vulnerability. I like it a lot, actually. That sounds really good. Okay, banners reduced from 10 to 5. Banners no longer cause blast finishers, but they have light fields now. That persists for 5 seconds after the banner is summoned. Oh, okay. I thought they were going to be like there forever. I was like, that's going to be a lot of visual bloat if there's just like giant light fields, like combo fields all over the place. Okay, they only last for 5 seconds. Okay, that's interesting. I like it. Strength, peak performance. Reduce the additional strike damage applied for a period of time after using a physical skill from 15% to 10%. Fortitude. The trait now increases ferocity by 10% of vitality. Defense, Cold the Weak. Increased damage bonus from 7 to 10% PvE. Spiked Armor has been renamed to Hardened Armor. Oh, good retaliation. I see. Tactics, Marching Orders. Reduce the interval cooldown to gain Soldier's Focus from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. Cool. Leg Specialist. Increased damage from 7 to 10% PvE. Roaring Reveille. Increase the duration of Resistance Boon from 2 to 3 seconds. Warrior's Cunning. Reduced health threshold for bonus damage from 90% to 80%. Okay. Discipline. Warrior Sprint. Increased damage to 10%. Double Standards. Reduce the bonus effect from banners from 100% to 50%, but they now affect 10 people. Axe Mastery. This trait no longer grants additional ferocity for a second equipped axe. Okay. Spellbreaker. Sun and Moon Style. Fixed a bug that causes trait bonuses to be temporarily lost after recovering from the down state. The Mania Dagger bonus has been reworked to deal an additional 10% strike damage to foes with no wounds. Attacker's Insect. gets an additional 35 power precision frosty in World vs. World and PvP. Previously, each stack ranked 45, so it's like just a little boost. And then full counter. The attack portion of the skill now correctly triggers if the spellbreaker is in mid-air, allowing the skill to end correctly. The mid-air stuff, a lot of air and height. It was more so just like a lot of strong, interesting boon and condition changes, and then like here and there was some interesting stuff. I think with the Mesmer, that'll be really interesting, and Guardian has some interesting changes as well. And this will be very, very interesting to play come May 11th, but damn. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, the link is down below. If you want to subscribe, like, and comment, share, all that stuff, I trust you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye. Mwah.